Hello and welcome to Block Factory. This is a factory automation game about extracting colors and building blocks from a map and building these little figurines to deliver them to the diorama. In this case, you would have to build probably a camel, a panda, and a gorilla, and you have to deliver them at certain speeds to the diorama to complete the level. It released on July 11th, 2025. It is $9.99 US. It does have a 10% launch discount going. Let's jump into it. It looks like it's comprised of different lands. We have 5 different lands. And this is your starting land. It looks like you earn these little building block currencies that you can use to unlock future zones. So we're going to jump into Pioneer's Land right here. I have already done this first level just to get familiar with the game and get past the tutorial. So we're going to jump in. We earned 1 block by completing this. You can see you can actually earn stars for completing each level. This is like an optimization challenge. Let's unlock this one. This is the farm. We're going to jump right into the farm. Okay, here's our diorama. It will be completed in multiple stages. Right now it looks like it's missing looks like a little farm that we're building. We need to build some pumpkins to place on the field. So that's our first mission. Here's the pumpkin. We can click on the main goal over here, and it shows you what pieces are involved in it. You basically have to stack them, cut them, color them, and build this shape. So we can zoom out and take a look at our map. We have all sorts of colors and shapes on here. We have 1x3 shapes, 1x2 green shapes. We have multiple different pieces, and the size of the map is pretty big. You can zoom out here and see it. And we're going to have to build multiple shapes on this map. So let's start with the pumpkin. We're going to need all these shapes here. So mostly orange, a little green piece here. So let's look around the map and see if we can find pieces like that. Alright, so if we look at this piece, we're going to start with the bottom pieces. I think you can explode it by checking out each layer here. So we're going to start with this bottom piece down here. We need this shape right here. So right now we don't have that shape on the map. We have this shape, and this shape. So let's zoom into this one. We can put down an extractor. If you hit T, it goes into top-down mode. Very nice little shortcut there. And we can put an extractor down. Let's put it right there. Like it does matter how many pieces are underneath it. So this is 9 out of 9. This is 5 out of 9. And basically each one gives you 10 units per minute. So this will be 90 units per minute that we'll get out of this one. If we put it here, we'd only get 80 units per minute. So now that is not the piece we need for the bottom though. We can put a little conveyor belt down here. And then we can probably put down a sloper. I think a sloper cuts pieces up that we have. So this operates at 30 per minute. You can see right here in the bottom right corner. Put that down there. Then you can click on this configure button. And it shows you all the pieces you can make from this. This is the shape we're after right here. So that's pretty nice. We can cut it up and make that. And we can start to optimize this if we want, but like right now we're not going to worry about where it's going to get the shape going, because this makes it at 30 per minute. This is extracting at 90 per minute. So we need one of those. That's good. Next up we would need the middle layer, which is this piece right here. So we already have that piece, so we can just grab this piece off of here. And it's very easy to split belts. You can just grab it down and it splits it like that. It'll split it half and half, so now we have 45 per minute on each belt. Now we can grab a stacker. Stacker is this machine right here. You can see the inputs and outputs. And we can get out of top-down mode if we want. It looks better without in top-down mode, but top-down mode is very useful to aligning belts and setting stuff up. So click on the configure button here, and we basically have to configure this. We can put this on top of this. This looks like what we want. Save that. This piece can only fit in a 4x4x4 area. So if the piece is bigger than 4x4x4, we'll need different equipment. So next up we need this piece here. We need 2 of them. That is right here, I believe. Kind of have to zoom out to see the shape. It's kind of weird. I guess you could zoom in and take a look at it. That looks like the shape we want. You can build belts on top of this stuff. And this is coming out at 30 per minute. And our stacker. Nice. There we go. As soon as that shape is delivered, we can configure it. And we have the top of our pumpkin. Next up, we're going to want a second stacker. And we can basically put it right there. Let's put this shape here, and we can just split this shape off here and come down to here. Again, this is 30 and 60 per minute. These only operate at 30 per minute. So we've only used 60 per minute out of the 90 per minute that we're supplying. Hit configure, drag this piece on top, and save. So nice, now all we need is the little green piece on top. We have that piece all the way over here. Let's put down our extractor. Drag that belt over. Configure that. That is going right up top here. Save that. And we can deliver it to the diorama, which is way over here. Comes our first pumpkins. Nice. So we unlocked a painter by getting that done. That's nice. Now you can see if we deliver these at 30 units per minute, we will get a coin. Coin can be used to buy upgrades. Once you meet the coin challenge, you can see that we have 3 different levels here. In order to get 3 stars, we will have to deliver them at 150 units per minute. I'm going to complete the level, get the upgrades done, then I'm going to come back and optimize and get the 3 stars in each level. It'll be easier to do once we unlock some of the new equipment. So next up is a bluebird. Here's the shape we got to build. Looks like mostly blue pieces. So let's find these pieces on the map. Okay, so we need these blue pieces and this yellow piece. We do not have any blue pieces on the map. All we have is blue paint. So I think we're going to have to use this piece right here and cut it up, and that'll give us the 2 pieces we need up here. So if we grab the piece like this and paint it blue, we should be good to go. Similar with yellow, the only yellow shape we have on the map is this square here, so we'll have to cut that up. But right now we have this piece right here and some blue pieces right here. So I think what we'll do is paint this piece blue. There's not a whole lot of it here, but I think we can make it work. Anyway, I guess we'll paint this first. So let's grab another extractor on the blue paint. Put this somewhere over here. Grab the painter. The painter operates at 60 per minute. That's pretty nice. Don't know if it matters which side is the paint and which side is the shape. And it doesn't appear that this is working. So we need a dye dispenser, not a piece dispenser. So let's go ahead and delete this and grab the dye dispenser. Nice, so there's our blue paint coming out 90 per minute. This is also 90 per minute, but this is only 60 per minute, so we'll just keep that in mind. Nice, so there's our blue piece. Put this piece down here and configure it, but it basically destroys half the piece, which is not ideal. We kind of want both pieces because we need both pieces for this bird. So let's actually go to the main menu here. I think I can return to world map. Hopefully it saves my progress. I can click on this upgrade button. I've earned some coins from completing the tutorial. And this is basically upgrade stacker, upgraded gluer. So we don't have the cutter yet. I want the double cutter here, but it is still locked. Okay, so we're going to revise this setup a little bit. We can hold down shift, click and drag, and you can delete stuff. Super nice. Go back into top down view here. We're going to extract 3 of these pieces at 60 per minute, so this will actually get us 80 per minute. That is going to be 80 per minute. And that'll be 60 per minute, so that's probably fine. So I guess let's put down 3 painters. Nice, and let's get these delivered to each one. And then we need the blue paint at 60 per minute. This is only 90 per minute, so that's not great because we need 180 per minute. So we need, actually we can do this. That's 180, which is what we need. Let's grab the tunnel all the way over there. This one will go in here. Then we'll put another tunnel in. Right there. And we can just drag this one down to here. And we can split this one into here. And this one into here. I think that should work. That should be 180 divided by 3 would be 60 per thing. There's the cutter. Need to cut this one. We're gonna need 2 of these. We should just do 1 of them. And then we can copy it so we don't have to configure it twice. So we can just copy it. We'll grab this piece. And then we can click on it, hit Control C, and it copies the configuration. And we can just grab this over to here. Like so. Get this configured to be this top piece. Well, that's not the shape we want, actually. We need it to be the other way around. So let's delete this, this belt here, I think. We don't need that shape, it's not going to work. Then we could probably try to use this yellow piece up here. Let's put down a cutter and see if that's going to work for us. I think we're going to have to cut it twice, right? Then we're going to have to put a sloper in. Just put down a whole bunch of pieces here and see what we need. So this would be a sloper. We would need something like this piece. And then we would need a cutter. Yeah, so this is the piece we need. And we need that at 60 per minute. We're going to need it twice because we're going to have to we're going to need 1 for the blue piece. We're going to have to paint it blue, and 1 for the beak. So we have 120 pieces coming out. This is sloping it to make it look like this piece here. This cuts it down to this size, and then this cuts it down to this piece here. So we have 4 belts coming out at 30 pieces each. We need 60 per minute of this and 60 per minute of this. So let's grab these 2 lines together. And we can grab these 2 lines together. So nice. Before we connect these up, we want to clear this piece. So I think we can just like highlight this and hit I to clear it. It'll get rid of the shapes we don't need. And now we can grab this piece over here and drag it into here. And that should give us the piece we're looking for. So let's put some stackers in. Stacking machine operates at 30 per minute, so we're going to need 2 of these to get 60 per minute. So we can, I think we can do this. We're actually going to delete this one. Nice, we can configure that. This should be like this, I believe. Yeah, it looks like our bird here. Save that. I think we can just copy this. Let's see if this works, because this is going into a different input, so I don't know if it's going to matter. Let's find out. Looks like it's working. So as long as you supply the same 2 pieces to it, it'll create the same shape. Okay, so I'm not sure how the order works if we can glue this piece on at the end, but I guess we're going to find out. So we actually don't need to cut this anymore because it's already being... Nice, okay, so that is sorted out. 2 more stackers. If you just hover over it and hit C, it copies the machine without copying the settings. And I think we can just grab this over here. And let's see if we can split it at a tunnel. So it looks like that works. We can just delete this one so we can just configure it once. I don't know if we're going to be able to glue, if we're going to be able to glue the yellow one on in the middle. We'll have to see. I might have to redo how I set this up. Now the moment of truth, can we glue it on in the middle? Let's just run one over here and see if it works so we know if we have to redo this or not. It's very touchy, so it doesn't look like you can glue it onto the middle. Okay, I've got it reconfigured now, so this piece glues these two pieces together. This piece here just puts the head on top, and then up top here, this piece just puts the base on it. So we got our bird now. We can just run that over to the diorama. Lines up nicely. And you can see there's new black pieces here, so these are the birds right here. Nice. We unlock the crusher. That basically crushes a block and gives you the color of the block. So now that we do, so if we need orange paint, we could actually crush this block and have orange paint now. So next up is the crow. For the crow, we need these pieces here, black and yellow, mostly some angled pieces, and then this kind of pyramid looking piece here is right here. We can take this and paint this black and make the angled pieces out of that. And here's our yellow piece that we can cut up and slope up. So let's start, I guess let's just start at the bottom. Let's start with these two pieces right here. So we can take the yellow square here and cut it up and make that shape. Alright, let's put these yellow pieces into a sloper. That'll give us basically give us these three pieces right here, these two and this one here. Sloper, put it down here. Let's just configure it to make sure it's going to do what we think it is, which is this piece right here. Then we can cut that piece up to make this other smaller piece here. We're just going to make this piece at 30 units per minute and see how that goes, and we'll increase it later if we need to get it to get the coin. But let's just copy this over twice. It does 30 per minute, so we can do up to 90 per minute with the extractor. So there's that piece. Then we can put another cutter on here. I don't know if we can, let's see if we can stack it right next to each other. Cutter right here. Can we put a cutter right there? Looks like that does work, and we can just make this piece here. We can copy this over. That gives us those two pieces, and then we have this third piece right here that we need. Okay, let's put another extractor in here. I think just right here is fine. And we'll just grab some of those out and we'll basically paint this black. So let's come over to here. Grab another extractor. We'll bring this over here. We'll bring this somewhere down this way to like this, and then we'll grab a crusher. And the crusher works at 48 per minute, so that's kind of a super weird number. But we'll deal with it. Let's just do two of them. I think that'll basically process 90 per minute. And then we can grab the painter. And this is coming out at 90 per minute. Put a sloper in here. Make that into this piece. What's nice is if you zoom in, you can see it has a piece floating about what it's making. So it's kind of handy. Works on the extractors and all this stuff over here, so pretty cool. Put those. That'll make this piece. That's what we want. Copy this over. So that is using 30, 30, and 30, so we're using all 90 per minute there. So we got these two pieces, we got these pieces. We just need this piece, which is already done for us. It's just over here. So we just got to assemble it now. Oh, we are a ways from the hub. Here comes our crow. Nice. We unlocked the super stacker, which is going to be needed for the scarecrow, because the scarecrow is taller than 4 high. So we're only at 4x4x4 on the stacker. And this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 high. So I think what we'll do is assemble it in 2 sections and then use the super stacker to do it. The super stacker uses three squares instead of 1 square. So we have a whole bunch of new belts down here. We have like a super big belt here. This is how we're going to transport the big pieces now. So they use up a lot more room. So we're going to want to keep it small as possible for as long as possible, I think. And as you can see here, this is what we're trying to get, 20 units per minute to get the coin. That's all I care about right now is the coin, so I can get the upgrades. We'll come back and do 3 stars at a later date. Nice, so now as long as we're delivering 20 for a certain amount of time here, we'll get the coin. Okay, for a scarecrow, let's just work on the bottom right now. Let's just work on these 4 pieces here. We'll try to assemble this as 1 piece. So let's get the blue piece going first. We're just going to take this orange square here, I think, and cut it up. We'll take this die here. And we can paint this piece. And we need to cut it. We're just going to do 1 belt, I think. See if we can get the piece we want. We want this piece here. Then we're going to need to slope it. I like leaving 2 between it just so you can see what's going on. I don't know, 1 seems kind of tight. Next up we need this second piece here to be painted white. We have white paint down all the way down here. So let's pull that up here. So same situation here, let's copy this. Paint this one white. Bring this up here, we need a sloper. I think this will work. This piece right here, that's a 2x3. Oh, so we gotta cut it first. That piece, and we need 1 of these over here. So that should be good. Now we can stack these. Stack these. So this needs to be stacked like this. This needs to be stacked like this. Nice. And then, all right, we'll grab this piece here. I think it's the right color. We just can grab it over here, cut it up, and we'll have the shape we need. So I believe we just need a cutter for this piece. That is this machine here. Drag that up here. That should make our piece that we need. Why is that airing out? That's a sloper, that's why. Copy the cutter. We need this piece right here. So copy this over. And nice, that should be the piece we need for the bottom half of the scarecrow. And now we can work on the top half, which is these 4 here. Those should be relatively easy. We have yellow blocks right here and these blocks right here. So let's get some extractors down. Okay, for the top half we just need 2 yellow pieces stacked together. That is super simple. Grab this piece. And we can just put a stacker in here. Something like that. This is going to be perfect. Like that. We can grab a copy of this. Nice. Bring this down here. We're going to need some cutters. That will be this piece here. Copy this down. So we can just put the head on here. Save that. Nice, there we go. And we just got to combine these two. So now we can use the new tool, the Super Stacker. It takes 2 small belts and outputs it on one big belt, but it allows you to, I believe, stack bigger items together. Let's find out. Put that down there. That is Super Stacker. Like that. And we'll grab this piece. Stick him in there. And then we need the big belts. Something like that. Oops. Configure that, and now this can do 12 by 12 by 12, so a lot bigger shapes coming up. Zoom in here. So I believe that's our shape right there. Save that. Now how fast does this operate? 30 per minute, that's pretty good. Now we can just drag this down here. Grab the big belts now. And into here. And that is our scarecrow. Should be at 30 per minute. Comes our scarecrow. Nice. So we just need 15 per minute to get the coin. Okay, last thing we need to do is complete the diorama. So we can click on the diorama here. We can put our pumpkins in place, kind of build the scene here. Nice, we got our birds. Birds go over here. Our crows on the fence here. Nice, and we got our scarecrow here, which isn't working very well. Nice, so we completed that. That's cool. Let's go ahead and save that. We got 4 coins, which is what we really wanted. We got 0 stars on it, so we're going to definitely come back to that. But we'll hit next level here. That gives us a new brick we can spend. We now have earned 2 bricks. So we've earned this brick and this brick, so that means we can unlock this one, which is the pond. So maybe we'll take a look at that next episode, but that's going to do it for this one. This is the start of Block Factory. I hope you like it, and we'll see you soon.